So it's nice to have football back, as we said. It's sure, hopefully will be a good game.
And for his ongoing expert commentary, Richard Grubby Cations, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Rob. Good afternoon, viewers. And I hate to disagree with you first up, but no, there is someone more keener to see football than Dale Smith, and that is me.
Oh, is it?
My word it is.
You've got him covered.
I've got him covered easy.
Now, we've got a bit of a treat today because in about 10 or 15 minutes we're going to be joined in the box by the reigning Neville Whitley medalist and the previous Thomson coach, Reece Holwell. Will have very bad memories of that day in 2019, the grand final day, but he's agreed to have a chat with us, and he's going to stay and assist you with dissecting and analysing the game, Grubby.
Well, that'll be good. I tell you what, I did see him. He's as fit as a trout. He looks $1 million. And, I'm only going to ask him one question.
When's he coming back?
What round?
What round?
What round? Don't give me this, maybe this, maybe this. What round, mate?
Well, it was only 2 weeks ago that he swam 1.9 kilometres, rode a bicycle for 91 kilometres, and then ran 21 kilometres. So it's fair to say he's pretty fit.
Well, he must be fit because I could get in a boat and then a car, do the same distance and be bugging. I couldn't do it. I can tell. I couldn't even do it when I was young.
Righto, guys. Last Sunday we spoke at the Corio Oval. We saw what I thought was a very good-looking game for two sides that are going to be at the bottom of the ladder, and you don't expect wonderful stuff, but I thought they turned on quite an entertaining game, and both sides will improve. And by the way, Grubby, we proved that you know absolutely nothing about footy because you said last week that Joel Bennett had 50 possessions. You're wrong. He had 48.
48
yeah.
He had. And I'll tell you, while you're going, he had 36 kicks, 12 handballs, 10 marks, 11 tackles and all that, 2 smothers, only 3 turnovers and 2 couple of goals. And you blokes didn't give him a vote. Well, I'm stonking. Unbelievable.
That's all right. Well, that's why you're in the expert chair and we're just humble commentators, Richard.
He could have enjoyed a lovely night out at the famous Yards Hotel, but maybe next time.
So a week's gone by. So what was the big take out of round one for you, first of all, Dale?
For me, probably
still eating his hot dog.
Still eating my hot dog, Rob. No, look, for me, I want to see 2 or 3 rounds. I'm still not too sure on where sides are going to sit, and I think after we've seen 2 or 3 games, we'll have a much better indication of where everyone lies. As I said, I spoke to a few of the boys last week, and evidently they reckon Thomson might be as good as they think they are, but East Geelong will definitely improve. So that was one report I've had. Outside of that, as I said, I've only seen and heard about the games that we've sort of watched, mate. So I'm a little bit ignorant. I even went to buy the advertiser to see some teams yesterday, and behold, there's not a GDFL side in the paper. I think Harvey Norman must own it now. Is it the Harvey Norman Advertiser or something?
It is indeed.
It's got to change.
I bought 2 fridges.
It's got to. Oh yeah. It's got to change. As I said, I go to the footy. I love to lead not only our league. I like to lead the footy from all of them. And I couldn't even find an AFL game in the paper.
Can I interrupt?
Yep.
Can we get rid of Reece Holwell and bring in a real champion?
Ronnie Pilgrim.
A real champion in Ronnie Pilgrim.
Grubby, you were talking this morning about Geelong West. I reckon Werribee is the side to beat from my pre-season expectations. So West's performance last week, okay. When you consider that they had about 5, you reckon, out of their best side, we don't know where they're going to sit for a few weeks yet either.
Well, I think they had 3 go to a wedding, which to me that means you need a good kick up the bum. And a couple got injured. Mind you, I think young Stretton, Neurath, I think there's a couple more at Werribee haven't played either yet. The big news is Jackson Smith's playing in the seconds today for his first game. He's going to have a run around for a couple of weeks and see how he goes.
Had issues with a broken wrist bone, scaphoid bone or something?
Yes, and he actually resigned or retired because of the fact that he's a pretty good musician. And you obviously need your hand when you can play the guitar.
Yep.
But he's decided that he's going to play. It's not his dad, because I did have words with his dad early saying, look, let the kid drive it himself. I got a text yesterday, the kid's driving it himself, he wants to come back. So he might not be back in the seniors for 4 or 5 weeks, although in my opinion he could play right now.
He can seriously play, that boy.
Yeah. But look, I'm not quite sure about Werribee Centrals yet. I know we're all saying, let me see him first. But, we're saying, well, maybe 1, 2, 3. And they could finish 9th the way this competition's going. I don't know about North Geelong. I need to see them. I didn't really see Winch last week. Last week there was 9 goals, 3 kicked in the first quarter. There was 5 goals, 16 kicked for the rest of the game. And I reckon from after half time, there was 12 points, no goals. So that torrential rain plus the fact that it was that cold. I was up the back of the grandstand at Bannockburn next to the fire, and at 5'4", I didn't see much, but you couldn't see. So I need to see them again. Have to see East, because Johnny Mitchell spoke glowingly about him this morning on hashtag. He said they've improved a heap. As I say, West, I need to see West with a full side. One of their players that didn't play was a fellow by the name of Chris Martin. Now, he's a high flyer. Played in Bowen Ed's premiership in 2019. Big specky taken full forward. He didn't play. They will be a lot better. So, Inverleigh we've seen, and they're going to be there. Belpost Hill, I thought put up a really good performance. They got a bit tired and Inverleigh overrun them. But I think they'll be up there too, but they need a ruckman. There's bits and pieces. So, yeah, I'm like Smithy. We'll have a look at the sides in the next couple of weeks. But what came out of last Sunday, you're right, it was a very entertaining game. Darren Bennett, I spoke to Darren during the week, and he sort of said, where do you reckon we went wrong? I said, well, you butchered the ball coming through the centre. You know, and he sent me a little, that's how I knew the stats of Joel. It was 61 turnovers for the game. You can't win games of footy when you turn the ball over that much.
The kicking was poor. It's a very important game today as far as contenders go is Winch and North Geelong. They're probably starting level, chasing that spot in the 5. So that's the one I'm really looking for. This game clearly is going to be exciting, but we know these sides are going to be there about. But that game to me is important about who's going to seriously challenge underneath.
Well, yeah, that
grand final, both sides probably got 7 or 8 at least different. So once again, is this too difficult to call?
Again, it's probably. I think Thomson's just this home ground advantage will suit them a little bit better. I think Bannockburn have got probably a few more players into their side than Thomson at this stage, but the quality that Thomson have been able to bring in definitely adds to what they had when they last probably met. So I would think with the ruckman, they tell me is, what was his name, Grub? The ruckman 24, Jarvis. From all reports, a lot of people speaking highly of him. We know what Brent McLeod can do in a football side. You put those two blokes who are going to be key around the middle of the ground, it makes a hell of a difference. So, but again, having said that, Bannockburn have, they have lost a few. They have recruited. I suppose the biggest one going out is Fulton. He's the bloke that just really commanded that grand final, didn't he, from the middle of the ground.
And the semi and the...
Yeah, so he had, along with Jack Broman, obviously they're the two standouts during their final series. But, as I said, you can only go with what you've got. They've got some blokes in there, you know they'll compete. And from what we've seen so far, I saw them against La in a night game. I don't know how much you can read into that. They were pretty good that night. They moved the ball well. And Grubby saw them last week, and up till half time it was probably okay. But after that, a bit of a shambles. So, look, I think there's a lot of improvement that will come out of both these sides. So it'll be interesting. You know, Billy Ritchie's in today for his first game for the club, so that's a bonus. Haven't seen him play before. Matt James, how did he go last week, Grub?
I'm not quite sure because I couldn't see out there. It was a beautiful game to watch till quarter time.
Yep.
It must look quicker at night, but the ball was going bang, bang. It was a great game. And then it was torrential rain hit. Obviously, that's why you stayed at home and didn't come out and join me.
I was enjoying the
wet weather supporter and that, but it was just you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. But he's one of the blokes, like, all right, they've lost Tyquin. Do they cover him with Matty James? I think so. Or Measures. Apparently he's a gun.
So right? with Broman, Measures and James, do Bannockburn have a slight advantage in the middle?
No, not really.
Oh,
you put John O'Casey in the middle, you put McLeod in the middle. The Westwoods don't spend much time in there. Who else goes through the middle, Grub?
One of them will for a while, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's Uji's, I don't know where he plays.
I know where he plays. I know Fenavesi will either play on ball or off half back.
Yep.
So I think it'll be close. I think the midfield will be a great battle. I think, put it this way, if our next guest was playing, I'd lean towards Thomson.
Yeah.
In the midfield. But at the moment, I think it's dead set even. I think it's going to be a great, great midfield battle.
Which is exactly the way we want it to be. We're going to be here till the game end, of course, calling everything. And you can also see it on the GDFL Facebook through YouTube. We'll have a live video coverage to go with our audio coverage, so we're looking forward to presenting that to you this afternoon as well. So go on to those people who are really good at using the computer. If you go onto the GDFL Facebook site, you will find the link to YouTube and you'll be able to watch the game this afternoon. We might take a little break and we'll see if we can flush young Reece Holwell out of the crowd and tap into his memory from 18 months ago at St Albans Oval when they came off second best. So, David, back at the studio, we'll just have a few sponsorship announcements and be back with you shortly. interesting Bannockburn rematch of the 2019 Grand Final. Guys, we'll have a quick look at the other games for today. We saw Belmont last week, and they were very impressive in patches, play a good brand of footy, very disciplined, work hard to get back. Are they good enough to beat Geelong West at Winters Reserve?
Go on.
No, you go.
I think they probably, because it's played at their own ground, I think they're a better side. They probably 3 or 4 goals better side. Now, again, having not seen West play the game of football and knowing that they're probably going to get 4 or 5 quality players back into their side, I still think that West will win the game.
Yep.
But, as I said, it's just going to be interesting to see how they treat things down there. As I said, it's a game where you can come out of the centre and you're in the goal square very, very quickly. And with no breeze, they'll be able to score very quickly both sides. If they can defend well, the Belmont Lions, they will give themselves a chance. But at this stage, having not seen a great deal of the Geelong West boys, I would think that Geelong West can win this game.
Interestingly, son of the legend Daryl Bissett, I was very impressed with Nathan. He's quite a tidy player, very good handball, one of those players that brings others into the game. He was very good.
I think that's what he likes to do. I think he likes to get the blokes that can run and carry the ball. He's a good user and very smart around the football. So I think if he can get his hands on the footy for that side through the middle of the ground and have those outside runners, then it does give them an opportunity to actually get the ball in quickly to their forwards and give them their best opportunity to win the game.
And what's obvious from after the game, talking to people, he's really got the respect of the playing group, which a new coach coming in is very important to do that early, and I think they're right in behind him, which is going to be important.
Well, if they don't answer to him, they'll answer to the old man. So I know which one I wouldn't like to be taken on. So it'll be very interesting. Yeah,
whenever.
So it's look, as I said, football's a funny game. It can turn very quickly, and let's hope that he's doing the right thing out there. I think, and from all reports, everything you hear, he's going about it the right way and giving blokes the opportunity to play the best brand of football they can, and giving those blokes that are actually doing the training the first opportunity. So, and from all reports, there's a couple of young kids that might find their way in pretty quickly.
Oh, well, yeah, there is. Believe it or not, with Stolke being a bit crook, I had to go in to do help out with hashtag this morning, but I forgot that it started early at 8 and it finished at 9. I went and got me car and thought, where am I going to go now? I'm not going back to Werribee, so I went out to Belmont. Watched a bit of the under-18, under-19 game out there, and lo and behold, I knew Cogsy would be there, but I didn't realise Nathan Bissett would be there that early. But he was there for well before the start of their under-19 game, watching blokes. He told me Brock Mahoney played 2 quarters. Unfortunately, they were the last 2, and I didn't see him. And he's going to send me some details. I reckon they got a kid he might play league footy, this kid. He's a brilliant kid. Can't remember his name, but he's going to text me some stuff. We'll worry about that in the next couple of weeks. But he was going to play 2 quarters. But when they finish that, they won't play seconds. Both of those, he's only 15 or 16, the younger one. I think Brock Mahoney's a rookie of the year. They'll both go straight into the firsts. And yes, you're right. They've got a lot of respect for Nathan out there. He's doing a great job. As I said at the start of last year when we were talking about it, whatever you do, don't worry about scoreboard. Don't worry about scores with Nathan Bissett. Give him 2 or 3 years, just like Corio are going to give Darren Bennett, and you'll see some improvement. Yeah. On Darren Bennett, he rang me during the week, very, very disappointed in the way they delivered the ball, which I think we all agreed with. But the last thing, when he texted me, the last thing he said, this is probably a confidence that I was in confidence, but I'm going to say it anyway because it just really impressed me. He said, I don't care what we do. He said, I'm staying here until Corio kick me out. That's the bloke they want there. Yeah. The bloke that says, I don't care what anything happens, I'm going to do the right thing by Corio, and if they think I'm no good and kick me out, then I'll go. I'm not going before. They're in the right hands, Corio. I know it's going to be a long, hard way back because they're coming from a long, long way back, but I'm telling you, they're in the right hands. You got Greg Ince as president. I heard him on the radio a little bit this morning. I know he was with the Northern Stars, but look, Corio in good hands. They've got to improve on the field, and it might take a while, but they are, as I say again, in good hands.
Well, we're in good hands now because joining us, as we suggested earlier in the commentary box, reigning Neville Whitley medalist, former coach of Thomson Footy Club, Reece Holwell. Welcome.
G'day, boys. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Very, very good to have you indeed. You've obviously been doing something different in the sporting world with the triathlon, which is probably the greatest lunatic sport I've ever heard of. But fit as a trout, Grubby's got just one question for you, Reece.
What round? No muck around, don't say, this, I've got to do this and that. What round?
Well, we'll see how we go. If Tommy are travelling, I reckon if they're sitting on top of round 10, I reckon I'm a good chance.
Well, then they don't need you.
True, they might need me when the whips start cracking though in the finals time. So, look, at the moment I'm happily retired, just sitting up here with you blokes and having a watch and having a chat.
So the body feels much better than on a Monday morning and a Sunday morning, mate, then. Is that what you're saying?
And Tuesday and Wednesday at the moment. So
that's a big thing, isn't it?
It is. It's massive, yeah.
Yeah, but what about inside here as the game goes to start? Do you miss that?
Grubby, as soon as I walked in, I got the tingles.
I knew that.
Everyone was shaking me hand, and it was like I'd never left. So, look, it's a good feeling coming back, but, that year off probably hurt a little bit. Having that year off, I probably, in my own head, I probably said that, to myself that's probably it, probably done for the year, for forever. So, I'm happy just to watch at the moment, so it's good.
Never
You got
say
one.
never.
You got one. You should have got two.
Should have.
Surely there's a 3 sitting back there somewhere. Surely.
I do get the casual text from the boys during the week, just saying, look, how you thinking? We're looking good. We've got this guy. We've got that guy. But as I said, look, I've distanced myself from it. I haven't come down to training. I haven't done anything like that. So even though I am fit with the triathlons and stuff like that, I still think a bump here or there will probably that'll, as you said, it'll hurt for a few days, I reckon.
Reece, just quickly on the Ironman thing, we interviewed you the day before you went in it. As I said, 1.9 swim, 21k run, 91k bike ride. How did you go?
Well, I finished, so I was happy to finish. The swim I was okay. The ride I was quite good. The first 10k of the run I was all right, but after that, my time started slowly getting higher and higher, and by probably the 14th k of the run, I was pretty cooked. So
you obviously have to play on the halfback flank. Grubby's lost his tank by the sound of it.
I don't know. You do need a big tank to run that many k's, but that's what I was going to ask you. Like, when you train, do you actually concentrate more on one of the disciplines, or do you try and even it out?
No, you try and even it out. So I've always probably been a good runner. So I kind of looked at that and put that aside and said, that's not what I need to work on. I'm a good swimmer, but I'm not a very quick swimmer. So it took me a long time to figure out how to swim a little bit quicker. So I did that, trained pretty hard with that. I bought myself a new bike. I hadn't really rode past 20k before, and so 90k was a pretty big challenge. So it took me probably 4 or 5 weeks to work up to that 90k, and then obviously getting off the bike into the run. That's to get the legs going after your 90k ride. That was a bit of a challenge. So that took me a couple of weeks to get used to that as well.
We did one grab it when I coached Queenscliff. We did a triathlon. I think it was about a 400-metre swim and not so many Ks on the bike. But I tell you what, getting off and trying to put the shoes on the run, I had to sit down, mate. I was knackered.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, have you ridden bikes since your childhood, or did you have to start and get back on it? Because I'll tell you why. I bought a bike, right, and I decided I'll do a bit of riding. So I rode around the block. It's only a 7-minute walk. I got off the bike and my legs went to jelly. And I thought, so I'll give it away. I can get that. It's too hard. But did you give that away, or had you always been riding?
Well, I was like, you're, as a kid, you ride down to the skate park or you ride up to the milk bar and stuff like that. But, it was more so I never trained big rides or anything like that. So it took me a bit to get used to that. And that's why the guys that win them and stuff, they're so good at them, because they've been riding since they're 10-year-old and, training and doing that sort of distance. So I thought I had a really good bike, and I thought I was pretty proud of my bike, the $2,000 special. But when I got down there, some of these bikes, man, they're unbelievable. Some guys are spending up around 70 or 80 grand on these bikes, and you just go, I may as well be riding a bloody Kmart job compared to these guys. So, but I suppose it probably knocks off 20, 30 minutes on your time, and when you're over 5 hours, races, then those 20, 30 minutes sort of count, I suppose. So,
well, my brother-in-law owns a bike shop, but unfortunately,
discount.
I won't be able to mention his name, but we will in the third quarter. Be able to mention the Grandi cycles, because we're on the Grandi cycles scoreboard. So even if there's no goals, just keep singing out the Grandi cycles, and they might look after you.
They might plug me. Beautiful.
They might.
That's good. What is going on with the scoreboard at the moment, anyway?
Even though it's a malfunction through the cricket season, so I've been told.
Okay.
Now, I'm only telling you what I've been told, but the word is that there is someone coming down from Melbourne to fix it. but they might be here by half time. So
Right, okay.
that could be.
We do know that Thomson is the top 0 at this stage. Bannockburn, the bottom 0. We'll do our best to keep you up to speed. And Dale Smith is a very, very good accountant, and he'll keep us up to date with what the scoreboard misses out on. Reece, obviously you'd think Thomson would win today, but why are they better than Bannockburn?
Yeah, look, I think today's going to be a lot about the midfield battle, I reckon. I think the guys that they've brought in, like Brent McLeod, obviously, we've seen a lot of his footy over the past few years when he was here. But he's he's probably one of the best footballers in Geelong. And, on top of that, they bring in Jarvis, who's, played a lot of high-grade footy as well. And, they really rate him down there. So I think if Jarvis can dominate, that ruck tap and get it down to these dangerous mids in John O'Casey and the guy I just mentioned, Brent, I think, look, they're going to be hard to stop. And on the other side of that, obviously Bannockburn missing Fulton. I think that, Thomson have definitely got the advantage in the middle.
The recruiting of Daniel Measures and Matt James, that'll certainly bolster what was a fairly good midfield already with Taekwon out, but chucked in with Jack Broman. You're quite right. There's some very classy players on both sides.
Absolutely. It's that midfield battle is going to be pretty mouth-watering today, I reckon. Matty James, this ground probably doesn't suit him as much, I don't think, because he can't find as much space, but his lightning speed off the first 2 or 3 steps, he can break those lines and take off really quick. So I'd imagine that Thomson would probably have someone checking him at those stoppages. And the other recruit, Dan Measures, obviously he's played a lot of footy at St Joey's and won flags in there, and then won flags before that at Queenscliff. So he's always been a half-back, creative type player and that cut-off sort of guy. But I think with Taekwon out, as you said, I think they'll throw him in the middle straight away and look for a lot of class off him as well. Very good with footy in hand.
Well, gentlemen, what do you think? Dale, you going to lean for the old side?
No. I picked Thomson during the week. I just think the home ground here is they play this ground as good as anybody. So I can't see them Bannockburn getting over the top from here. They've probably struggled here a fair bit. So I would think that at this stage I'll stay Thomson until I can see, as I said, 3 or 4 games in. Then it might change the way I think. But Thomson at home.
Grubby,
Just give me 2 seconds.
are you doing the maths?
No, I'm just going through the. I've got the umpires and I just can't find them anywhere so I've got to look through the great Brian Coughlin's his email to me.
This is Grubby's team we're talking about now.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. All right, well, we might just...
I got him.
You got him? You ready to go?
Umpire Darren Gahan, Jess Vertichese, who's a good little umpire, and Bernard O'Dwyer. So good luck to those blokes.
Well, that's good. A much more senior-looking group than the group we had last Sunday, which included 2 teenagers and a gentleman in his 60s. This is a lot more even. You'd think these blokes would be in their prime of their umpiring life.
Turn it up. He's not going to be happy with you. There's no way he's 60.
Keats.
He's 70.
Keats the same age as me. Keats is 58. Maybe 59 he's turned. He ain't 60. He'll be very disappointed.
He's a bit older than me, Grub, that's all I know.
He's younger than you.
Righto, we're in the centre of the ground. The players are all ready. The ball's down. Umpires are ready. Players in positions. It appears as though Bannockburn are kicking to the left of screen. Would that be correct? The way they're lining up?
Thomson are going left.
Thomson left of screen. Bannockburn to the right. Dale Smith, away you go.
A ball in the middle of the ground. It's up and go at it. So it comes down. Casey tries to get off the ground, but it's picked up, cleaned up, and it was coming through. It was James. Couldn't get a clean kick away. Picked up there, going the other way. Thomson now. They get the ball to the half-forward line. Over the top. Picked the ball up. Now, Rishi might have to help me out with a couple of blokes. Not too sure that it is with the hair. Was it Jacko, was
Jackson
it?
McLeod.
Got the hair in the bun.
Yes.
What the hell?
Yes.
So you can't have your head in the bun, can you? Oh, better start the clock. So now the ball was thrown up. Cole goes at it. Again, Ruckman working hard. McLeod in. That's number 74. I think that's where he comes on the list. Ball picked up again. It's not cleared away. They bring the ball out the back. This time it's Westwood. They get the handball out. Back to Casey. Casey puts the ball 2 foot. That goes into the half-forward line. Mark is taken by Bannockburn. So they will turn around and come the other way, and that's through Ladgroves. Goes across the ground. Good kick. And he will find his teammate out there in Parsons. Now he steadies, goes short. Robinson comes up and takes the mark. Still inside defensive 50.
Thank you.
So he's just holding things up there in that position now. prepared to go slow and now puts the ball towards centre wing. Mark not taken at ground level. Coming through, it was Richie. He can't take the ball, but he took the man out of that contest. And again now in a position at centre wing, the ball is going to be taken back to the umpire for a ball up to take place.
Just interesting first up, we've got Jackie Broman goes straight to Brent McLeod at the stoppages. So both sides look to, not man up on either of those two guys, just let those two go head to head, which I think is a good idea from both clubs.
Yep, so Dan Measures got that clearing kick. The ball goes into the half forward line and it's gone over the boundary line, so they'll set things up again from that position. Umpire about to restart play. Andrew Jarvis, from all reports, a good ruckman, and Benny Cole, he's been doing it mostly for Bannockburn. So the ball is thrown back in. Cole takes front position. Tries to win ground possession. He goes over by hand. Jacket coming the other way. Gets the handball away. Goes over the top to Hodgson. Hodgson goes back. His teammate not clean with the ball, but he's able to go back and win it back. And McLeod, Brent, puts the ball back towards centre wing. Mark is not taken out there. Harding didn't take the mark on the ground level. It's picked up. Was that Davis? No? Yep. Davis out on the far side. And ball on centre wing. Again, the umpire to throw it up once again. Does that now, and quickly the ball at ground level. Broman picks up, got a little feed out, went towards Robinson. Toe pokes off the ground, went back and collected it, and he is tackled. And again, the umpire will come in. So we've travelled just over 2 minutes in the first quarter. The Commonwealth Hotel scoreboard sees both sides are yet to score.
So it's Jarvis and Cole again. Jarvis drops it down to the path of Hodgson. He quickly kicks out, but it's smothered. Coming through for Bannockburn is James. He kicks into the centre. Oh, mark not held. Westwood gets a very quick hand pass to Hodgson, and he left foot kick out towards the wing looking for McLeod. This is the younger one, Jackson. He's pushed in the back. The umpire has let that go. Comes out towards Stewart. Stewart for Bannockburn kicks low into the forward line and finds a leading teammate coming out, and that will be Tom Barth, who will line up for goal. He'll probably kick from about 45 metres. At this stage, he's backing himself to do that. Yes, handball out to James. James kicks long and low into the forward line. Punched out by the Thomson defenders. Jacker runs onto the ball. Kicks long down to the middle of the ground. Harding for Bannockburn sets himself under the pack, but coming across and taking a very strong mark is Ben Cole, the ruckman. Quick hand pass out to James again. He wheels around, cleverly gets past a player, kicks forward, but Jacker comes out. Can't quite hold the mark that he probably should have taken. Bowden hand passes out towards a teammate there, but Thomson intercept again. Hodgson across to Kelly. And Kelly was a relieving kick down the wing. Cole comes in for Bannockburn and intercepts, though. The ball over the top to Westwood. Quick hand pass out in the path of
Hill, I think.
Yes, it's Hill, and gone out of bounds on the centre wing. Still no score. We're about 3 minutes into the first quarter of the 2019 Grand Final rematch.
Did he stage that, Jacko, or do you think he should have got a push?
I think he got a push.
Didn't see it that way, but anyway. Again, ball with Casey. Casey Hodgson. Hodgson back to Casey. Casey over the top. Got a player out, and it's Westwood. Runs onto the ball. He's got an outlet player running past again. Goes in that direction. Picked up by Ujis. He gives the handball back, or was going to give it back. Now he does, and it ends up in the hands of Kelly. Kelly looks towards centre wing. McLeod's the target. Read the ball nicely. Can't take the mark. Didn't. Went back and tried to collect it. Again, pushed off the ground. Picked up Stevenson. Got the handball away. It was smothered, and again, ball runs freely. Goes to the boundary line. Picked up by Finovesi, and he looks and goes round the boundary. Nice kick. Davis presents up and takes the mark. So Davis now, outside forward 50, still kicking a bit from the goal square. Looks to go long into the pocket. Player leading up. Mark is not taken. And it's cleaned up as it's Harding that had the ball. Can't see. Ball goes over the boundary. Umpire says it's out of bounds and will be thrown back into play.
Just a couple of times there where the ball's been come down into kicking into Jackson McLeod's space here. He's just been outnumbered 2 or 3 times with, Bannockburn guys actually getting over to help. Thomson have to work a little bit harder, whether it's a half forward or winger, to get over and turn it into a 2-on-3, but not a 1-on-3.
So the ball back in the full forward position. Clean pick up by Measure, tackled, and the umpire says high. Free kick going to Dan Measures of Bannockburn. Measures now.
He's a good kid, is he? He's a good player.
Yeah.
Measures.
Yeah. Can play. So he now delivers the ball back towards centre wing. Went towards Henderson, but the mark is taken there by Stevens. And Stevens now gives the quick handball away. Goes to Solly. Solly goes back inboard. Jacker, usually a nice kick of the football, and that's no different. Goes long, maybe not the direction he wanted, and it runs towards the boundary line. Will it go over? Bowden will see it there. Umpire, no, it's been kept in. It's allowed to go. Fedavesi on the boot. Goes towards goal. Across the face. And over the line for another throw-in.
You got to love local footy, don't you? Davis is out there at 2 o'clock playing for Thomson, and 11 o'clock he was in serving hot dogs in the canteen. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, it is good.
Hey?
Boundary throw in the forward pockets, only 3 metres round from the behind post, deep in Thomson's forward line. They've been attacking pretty regularly, but at this stage, not a lot of system to get them a scoring opportunity. Tapped over the back, Bannockburn intercept the tap ball, but tackled again, down to the ground, another tackle. Ball's not going anywhere. It's bobbled out, but the umpires decided to ball it up. So it'll be about 15 metres out, directly in front of Thomson's goal. This ball up will take place. So it's Cole going up against Hill. It's tapped down by Hill, gets it to, but Bannockburn come out. A clearing kick from Hayden Spiller out towards the wing. Thomson can't hold the mark, but a very quick handball releases
Ugis.
Releases Ugis. He gets down and kicks it to Banfield. Banfield along into the forward line. Mark dropped by Cole, but he butters up with a strong tackle to keep the ball in for Bannockburn. The umpire comes in and there'll be another ball up. True half-forward flank. Thomson's end of the ground.
So just in their forward 50, the ball was thrown up by the umpire again. Hill gets a tap down, picked up by Measures. Quick goes back towards the centre of the ground. Mark, will it be taken? No, ball comes to ground. Henderson had hands on it, couldn't take it cleanly. Jacker had it, he gave the handball out. Again, Uji's had it. He lost the possession of the ball, picked up by James. James goes sideways. Measures is in there again, kicks ball long. Ball runs back. Hardy's leading in the race for the ball. It's a nice tap over the top, and it was went to Connor Jervis. He didn't get the handball over the top, so they've been able to turn the ball over now, Thomson, and they run through the half-back line. Hardy goes out wide. Now there's a free kick after the kick. Yep, so down the ground. It's taken out there. And I think Jakey Killer says, I'm going to take full advantage and take off, but it's going to come back to where the ball landed. So back to Fenavesi on centre wing.
Connor Jervis lands that handball, and I think Bannockburn kicked their first goal, you know.
So Fenavesi now short. Lead-up player Davis takes the mark. Kicks now long to the pocket. Actually, there's Davis there, so that wasn't the ball the first time.
Brent McLeod.
Well, yes. And ball has gone over the boundary line, and we're thrown back into the field of play.
He did wear a jumper last week. It was a little bit tight for him, so he's asked for a bigger jumper, and that's why he's wearing a 74.
They get big as they get higher.
I'm not making that up. That's what happened. That's Glenn Myers.
Boundary throw in Thomson's forward pocket. Up in the ruck, it's tapped down. Coming through is a Bannockburn player, fumbles out of his hand. Quick hand pass comes out. McLeod lays a tackle but James for Bannockburn kicks the ball down the line. So Nesta Thomson players. Hodgson gets the ball, and that lovely long left foot kick puts it right at the top of the square. Davis, as I would have thought, given away a free kick before he took the mark. The umpire sees it that way as well. A push to Parsons, I think it is, and Bannockburn will relieve from the top of the goal square.
So Parsons now goes short to the pocket. This time James has it. Looking to give the handball, but decides to now transfer play, runs, carries, kicks the ball long. Looking for Miller, up over the top, gets it down. Vickers can't get to the ground. The ball picked up there, cleaned away, and that's Gardner, goes back into the dangerous position. Mark, will it be taken? Yes, it is, and it's Harding that's taken the mark. So BJ Harding, ball in the back pocket, goes short. Player out there, Stevenson. Sits just inside defensive 50. Goes short to Spiller and does now. So Hayden Spiller.
Thomson have had repeat entries here, but seem to be going long all the time, and Bannockburn have done well to get that extra number back and create a 2-on-1. They need to lower their eyes and start looking a bit shorter, Thomson.
So the ball comes out, goes towards centre wing. Miller tries to barge his way over the top of the ball. Ball comes out, now picked up, cleaned away. Handball's good. Middleton it was, gave it to Henderson. Henderson goes back out wide, just a little kick off the ground, keeps the ball alive for Bannockburn. 32, that's Tommy Bath. Yes, gets the ball out. And again, back in the hands of Middleton, puts the boot to ball, goes into the forward line. Mark has been paid, and the mark has been paid to Kelly. So Kelly of Thomson, right at the true centre-half forward position, goes short. Kick was bad. Broman couldn't take the mark. Fenavesi lays the tackle. Ball comes out. Umpire says that's incorrect disposal. Free kick will go to Thomson and Fenavesi.
Very unlike Jack Broman.
So Fenavesi goes sideways. No, he's going to.
Kicked across the far side of the ground, and coming out to take the mark for Thomson is Stevens. He kicks down the line further and finds a teammate in his captain and coach, Sam Jacker. Long kick from Jacker down the line. Looking for and finding Brent McLeod. Clever use of the body. Easy his opponent out. McLeod quickly clears her down to the forward line. The ball punched away from the leading Thomson forward in Gardner and goes out of bounds. On the half-forward flank, far side of the ground at Godfrey Street, still no score on the board to either side.
Where's the numbers bigger this week, Grub?
Yeah, the numbers were very small last week.
Very
weren't they?
tiny.
You couldn't see them.
Very tiny last week.
While it's out of bounds, I'm going to send a cheer out to me dad who's listening today. Played footy with Footscray in the 50s. He's listening to us today, so behave you blokes.
Behave you blokes. I know it's one to be behaving. Ball now in dispute. Again, it's worked hard in there. I think it was Banfield got his head over the ball. He was tackled. Umpire now sits back and says, no, it's coming back to me. So there's going to be a throw up or a ball up to take place. Braden Vickers hands the ball back to the umpire. Ruckman again go at it. Take down, and again the ground clearance not clear with a number of players around the ball, and the umpire will call for it once again.
And we just look at the numbers here. Bannockburn have been able to get 2 out of the contest, so obviously Thomson have pushed 2 extra runs in. Quick kick. If Thomson win it here, they're going to get outmarked in their forward line. So
Venevesi is over the top of the ball. Umpire circling round, still waits, and now will come in and another ball up to take place.
Well, they are like a couple of prowling tigers at the moment, aren't they, Grubby? No one's game to really do too much. It's been knocked out, been tackled. Robinson is trying to get out. He very cleverly passes the ball round behind his back, kicks it quickly forward. Miller can't hold the mark. Jacker gets a handball out quickly to Gardner. He kicks down the middle of the ground. Jackson McLeod runs underneath the ball over the back and outnumbered again by Bannockburn defenders. They're coming through in numbers. That's very, very strong play by Parsons, but he's finally run down and he loses possession. Andrew Hodgson runs through centre half back, kicks long down to the forward line, looking for McLeod, who's resting in the pocket. Bannockburn ease out again. Harding takes a easy mark on the half-back flank, plays on, kicks long down the line, into space. No teammate there. It's easy for Thomson. It's picked up there by Stevens. Stevens hand passes it across to a teammate. He's under great pressure. Bobbles over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in just around from the commentary box. Still no score on the board, and we must be around about 10 minutes in.
No, we've got nearly 13, mate. We're probably over 13 because the clock man was failed again.
And left it in the car yet again.
Now at home. Ball thrown in. Ball comes to the front of the contest. Both teams working pretty hard. Picked up there at ground level. Working through was Joey Fame. He's tackled, brought to ground. And again, the umpire will come back in and ball it up.
That bloke who got tackled over here was Jared White. He's the late inclusion for DeSanto.
All right, PJ,
yeah.
Yep. Ball kicks back towards the centre forward position, going back and taking the mark. As Watchwell, he actually didn't take the mark, got the handball away, put his teammate under pressure. Spiller couldn't take it cleanly. Tries to go back and win possession once again. It's Ladgroves now over the top of the ball, and hit ball is going to be back with the umpire at the centre half forward for the Thomson side.
Do you think they're playing with a wet ball, that last little passage of play? No one could take control of it there. So there's still a bit of nerves, no doubt, Reece?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Both sides.
Pressure.
And pressure, yeah. The pressure's been good. Obviously on the smaller ground too, it's contested footy, so good contest so far, but look for that to open up shortly.
So Jacker gets the ball, goes back into the hand of Vickers. Vickers puts the ball back towards centre wing. Stevens in front, couldn't take the mark. They try to work through. Link Peters lays a good tackle. Robinson taps the ball on, and again, ball comes out the back. This time I think it's Kelly has got the ball. He needs to steady himself. Looks for options, went back in, put himself under pressure, but got the handball away to Casey. Casey over the top to Venevesi. Venevesi turn, a little bit of time, looks up, goes over the top. Gardner comes up and takes the ball on the chest, turns and goes quickly back towards the centre half forward position. Mark, is it taken? No, not. McLeod had it and then lost it. Ball at ground level over the top. Kittle tries to lend some assistance, but the ball is going to go back to the umpire, and we're going to have another ball up to take place.
If it does break up and breaks right out, does that favour Bannockburn? Because Thomson looked the stronger in close.
I reckon they do. I reckon Bannockburn have probably got a little bit more leg speed through the middle. But Thomson, being that older kind of list, they probably want it nice and in tight and being able to use the body. But we'll see. Hopefully it does open up. The nerves and that are still in at the moment, so I reckon it will open up very shortly.
Westwood with a shot at goal then, and it's gone well away from where the goals are, and it's gone out of bounds. Now I think it was touched off the boot. So the umpire will start things again from the forward pocket for the Thomson side. So thrown back in now by the umpire. Cole front position, goes to that position, picked up, measures, a little bit of time, kicks round the body, comes out towards the half-back line. Mark again, dropped by Watts. He's tackled and high as he put his head down to pick up the ball. And a free kick will go Bannockburn's way. Decides to go back to the goal square. Missed the first target, had a back up, which was okay. Goes over the top now. Stevenson went towards Spiller. Spiller got the handball further afield. BJ Hardy puts himself back in pressure now. Just able to get a kick away. Not much distance, but it's picked up by Casey. Looked inside, went back on his right foot, and a little short kick, and that's good. And the mark has been taken out there. And this time it's Jarvis that has the ball. Handball's off to Kittle. Running player goes towards goal. And again, this time, it'll be offline, but through for the first score of the afternoon, and it is to Thomson. They are one behind. We've gone 16 minutes first quarter. Come on, Affine Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
Got off the hook there, young BJ. He went one step too far and nearly cost him a goal because Jake Kittle usually kicks them. He's a beautiful kick. And so was Hodgson, who hit a poor kick too. Maybe the ball's flat, I don't know.
No, they're certainly having trouble handling a lot of the players, but it could be just the intense pressure. I know we're excited about the game, but I imagine players from both sides would be as well, and it's just no one's been prepared to give an inch at this stage. It's not necessarily been pretty to watch, but it's certainly entertaining. The kick from Bannockburn comes long out of the goal square, down the line, up in front of the pack, trying to mark his Cole. He gets it over towards Broman, but Casey very cleverly intercepts. Fenavesi quickly kicks forward, and coming out, taking the mark is Brent McLeod. Just a quick, what do you call that, a panic kick or whatever into the forward line, but it works. It certainly caused some panic amongst Bannockburn defenders.
Right spot at the right time, I think there, boys. He just snapped around, not looking, but...
That's the word, it's chaos. Thanks, Noel Fanning.
Yeah, you just stick to your camera work, mate. We'll do this.
So McLeod is going to be kicking from 45 degrees, running in exactly a line with us, kicking to the city end.
Beautiful.
That is a beautiful
that.
straight kick. First goal to the Thomson Tigers. 1 goal, 1. Bannockburn yet to score. And we are 17 minutes into the first quarter.
Have we seen who we're swapping with here? So Brent McLeod's going forward, starting on ball then going forward. I'm not quite sure. I haven't picked up who his direct swap is in the forward line. Might have been Fenavesi, actually, now that I look at it.
He's an interesting player. Played a lot of seconds footy after being a pretty handy senior player, but he's obviously worked very hard on his body and his game to win his place back in the side.
I feel like he's lost a lot of weight.
I was going to ask you, he's dropped some weight and he looks a lot better.
Looks leaner.
And I'll tell you the other thing, it is a chaos kick when Brent McLeod's resting in the forward pocket because he reads it like a champion footballer he does.
Absolutely.
So back in the middle we go again. Ruckman go at it. Ball stepped down. Broman had it. The ball comes out. Fama runs onto it. He's tackled without it. And free kick will go his way. So Joey Fama now looking for some option. Out the back he goes to James. That long kick quickly into the forward line. Break Mill at the front. Goes to the back of the contest. Again, clean pick up there from the Thomson side through Kelly. Got the handball away. Went to Peters. Fed it back to a dangerous position. Middleton's there. Peters went back after it again. Thompson now in there with some numbers to provide support. Into the hands of Henderson. And it's been touched off the boot.
Yep.
The umpire's called all clear. Now the goal umpire said it's touched. The field umpire saying all clear. And it's been given a goal.
What?
Well, that's what he said. The goal umpire said touch. The field umpire said all clear. It's been given a goal.
Can't ask for the third umpire, boys. The scoreboard's not working.
I can't understand that.
I don't think the goal umpire can change his decision. If he thinks it was touched off the boot and that's what he signals, then that's what it should have been.
That's what he indicated, wasn't it?
Yes, he did touch off the boot, yes.
So anyway, it's a goal to Bannockburn. It's been recorded. Thomson now 1-1-7. Bannockburn are one straight goal, and we have gone 19 and a half minutes first quarter.
I tell you what,
Hotel,
from what I saw, there was no one touching it, so I think we got the right decision.
Yeah, it's very strange the way they did that, though. Normally the field umpire would go and question the goal umpire, not just override them and call all clear.
Looks like he's just overruled him.
Yeah, definitely. Back in the middle, it's Jarvis again wins the tap. No, it's not this time, but he wins over the top of Cole. Westwood comes out for Thomson. Quick hand pass to McLeod. And a very neat kick into the forward line. Looking for a teammate, but Bannockburn intercept there. Over the top, it's Kittle who picks up a crumb. Kicks long towards the goal. Just fades away to the left.
Usually gets them, doesn't he?
A minor score. That's 1 goal, 2 to 1 straight goal. This is a very titanic clash between the Country Tigers and the City Tigers. City Tigers holding sway.
So Spiller from the full-back position this time. He kicks off, comes clubroom side of the ground, goes out looking for Bowden. Bowden, one hand up, couldn't take it. Picked up by Solly. Solly looks to get the handball away.
On the ball.
And that was an incorrect disposal. Good call, Grubb. And free kick will go to Measures. Measures now from just the defensive side of centre wing, chips the ball inside. Marcus taken inside. And again, they bring the ball through the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick, slipping across his Casey. Didn't take clean possession, but able to keep the ball alive. Jacker runs onto it and goes wide with his kick. And this time Watts takes the mark. So Watts now on the half back line will kick the ball back to their half forward. Has a player out there by himself, and the mark will be taken.
Two of them.
Yep, so had options out there. This time it was Tommy Bath once again. So Tommy Bath gives the handball away. Again, James just goes long. Miller's the target. He's behind, brings the ball to the ground. Again, Thomson run onto it. I think it was Ugis that had it. He was tackled very quickly and without prior opportunity.
Matty James with that beautiful long kick as he brings it in. 3 or 4 times now he's just running around the back of the mark. He's getting that easy handball. I think Thomson need to have a look at that and maybe just cut that off because he's really penetrating Thomson's back line and kicking it in deep. So that's something that needs to be looked at quarter time.
Well, I think Bannockburn have got to look at it too because each time he's done it, it's been resulting in no goal. So Blake Miller's got to move somewhere because those kicks have got to go somewhere. They're not going anywhere yet.
He's got a pretty good full back on him, though, too, Grub. So
we'll kick it to someone else.
Yeah, the ball comes out. That's right. Jervis now picks it up and goes back towards the pocket. Henderson there by himself. A little bit of time and space. Goes a banana. Didn't kick that with that too well. It goes right across the frontage of goal. Bath leads in the race for the ball, but again, kicked off the ground. Nice work out there. Thomson with the ball now. They go back and it finishes up in the hands of Stevens. He looks inside. Little kick. Has to be good. Wasn't good. Picked up by Broman. Got the handball or was going to give it. Then he was tackled. Got the kick away. Goes back into the half forward line. But again, Thomson through their defence will take the mark. They transfer a player across the ground. In space, Jacker. Jacker's going to go back to the other side of the ground once again. Looks for that long kick towards centre wing. One-on-one contest. Harding behind. Able to get the spoil away. Runs to the boundary line. And won't be picked up by Stevens before it goes over. And we'll have a throw in on centre wing.
Yeah, James's kicking's interesting. I know he just seems to kick long every time he gets it. Is that just part of his game? Because it's not necessarily helping his side sometimes, as Grubby pointed out.
Well, that's why I thought Holwell should have won 2 in a row. But
thanks, Grub.
Balls are being thrown in on the centre wing on the outside of the oval here at Godfrey Street, Thomson. It's Jarvis and Cole, as they've done most knockouts. Brent McLeod picks up the crumb. Quickly kicks it forward. Hill comes out, can't take the mark. Harding for Bannockburn does a very good job to stop that run forward for Thomson. We're going to have a secondary boundary throw in now. Half forward flank for Thomson. You've got birth certificate attachment. Grubby, how old would BJ Harding be? He'd have to be in the latter half of his 30s, would he not?
Oh, you would think so. He's been around a hell of a long time.
Been a very good player for a long time. Jarvis gets the ball down. McLeod again. Can't quite hold the ball. Gets over the back. Hodgson picks up ball. Hand passes out to a running teammate. It looks like Gardner. Stevens. Yep. Stevens can't hold the ball. Bannockburn players all over him. Comes out again. Jervis has a quick kick forward for Bannockburn, looking for Peters. He can't quite hold the mark. Jacker picks up the crumb and neatly passes out to the centre wing, where McLeod is all by himself. Long, low stabbing pass looking for Jackson McLeod in the forward pocket, but it's over the boundary line. There'll be a throw up around 30 metres from Thomson's goal. They lead 1-2 to one straight goal. Very close to the end of the first quarter.
Very interesting, isn't it? Bannockburn has it, then Thomson. It's not end-to-end. It's they each get about 5 minutes with it.
Yep. And the ruck battle too, I think they're about 50-50 at the moment. You know, like you'd come into this, say, Jarvis probably the advantage playing the better footy, but Cole's definitely playing well and, at least making it a 50-50, no clear winner at the moment.
So the ball came out of the contest. Stacey had it and gave the handball away, but the ball now has gone back over the boundary line, so we'll have a throw-in to take place. Again, right on forward 50. Thomson sacking into the ground.
When you talk about that, Reece, they've got to do that for 4 quarters, and usually the experienced, better players can do it for 4. So Cole's got to keep going and going for 4.
100%, and he knows he's got a big challenge in front of him, so he'll be looking forward to it.
So Hill and Cole, the handball goes back to McLeod. His kick is smothered off the boot. They tap the ball back to the boundary line, and Kittle again from that boundary line. This time he goes right across the face. McLeod is there, picked up there by Spiller. Spiller goes back by hand. They feed the ball around the boundary line, ends up in the hands of Jervis, looks up, has a player further down the field, and goes to Broman. Broman takes the mark. Wanted to go quickly, but there's no options further down the ground. Now he does go in that direction, but the ruckman in Jarvis slips across and takes the mark. Plays on by the umpire. He goes back into the half-forward line. Mark is not taken by Hill. Ball comes to ground. May have been a little bit shove in the back there, but it's Solly who picks it up nice and cleanly, goes towards McLeod in the pocket. Ball is spoiled from behind over the boundary line, and another throw-in will take place. So we've gone almost 26 minutes in this first quarter. Commonwealth Inn Hotel. First quarter scoreboard sees Thomson at 1-2, Bannockburn at 1 straight goal.
It's a fierce contest. No side has really got any advantage at all. As Grubby said, it's just bouncing along from one to the other. Cole kicks the ball out of the ruck contest. Daniel Measures takes a mark. I don't know whether the umpire's going to...
It's either a mark or over the bounce of the foot, isn't it?
It's got to be one.
Well, it's got to be one or the other, but
Unless it was touched off the boot, I suppose.
the umpire is going to throw the ball in. It's Thompson's half-forward flank pushing more towards the forward pocket. Cole doesn't win that, neither does Hill, but Hill picks up a crumb, quickly kicks forward. It favours the Bannockburn defence. It's Parsons who comes out, dodges around. Jackson McLeod gets it across to his teammate Spiller. He kicks long out into the wind. It's got to be precise. Peters is 1-on-3. Comes over the back of the pack, and Hodgson is part of that 1-on-3 battle and wins the ball. Ball's punched away from Brent McLeod. Umpires deemed that he's been hit over the shoulder during that interception, and he's won a free kick in the centre of the ground. He's waiting for his options forward. So he's one in the forward pocket. It's a long kick. He's looking for Jackson McLeod. He's up way too early, and the umpire will penalise him, and the ball will go to Bannockburn's Ladgrove in the back pocket.
It's a bit like we haven't played football for a long time and we're still trying to adjust to a game of footy.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Exactly right. So it's Ladgrove now kicks long down the centre wing. He's looking for Miller. Miller goes up, but then it's a nest of Thomson players. It's Jarvis at the front who gets the ball down, but players jump on top of the ball. The umpire is circling, waiting, but a ball up was inevitable, and that's what's going to happen now. So he throws it up. It's Miller and Jarvis. Jarvis gets the tap down, kicked off the ground by Gardner, kicks down to the forward pocket. Out for Bannockburn comes Cole. He tackles a opponent very, very strongly, wins the ball back for Bannockburn. Jervis kicks it long and hard down the wing, but again, it's a nest of Thomson players.
Whistle.
Yeah, downfield, is it? Or?
It sounds
No,
like
he was calling it holding. He said that Hodgson was holding his opponent, who was in fact...
Tommy Bath.
Tommy Bath. He gets the ball out to Measures. Measures does measure the kick into the forward pocket, looking for a teammate, but coming out, reading the ball very well as Oogles for Thomson, and he takes a chest mark. Kicks out and looking for his co-coach, Jared Westwood. He marks in the opposite back pocket. A neat little kick out and finds Callum Stevens in the forward pocket for back pocket for Bannockburn. Kicks across, very good attempt to mark by Solly, but he wins the ball back. Comes to Jackson McLeod. His kick smothered by a very courageous Broman. Picks the ball up again, but he's tackled. Broman again wins the ball. Hand passes it forward looking for a teammate, but it's gone over the boundary line right in front of the Thomson coach's box, about 10 metres round from where we're sitting on the member side. The score is 8-6.
A couple of things you can guarantee when you see Broman play. He's going to throw himself at the footy.
You bet.
Wherever. We love it, don't we?
So the ruck contest comes to the front of the contest. Fammer over the top, goes to Peters. Peters boot the ball very quickly into the forward line. Maguire, nice read of the ball, goes to McLeod and Brent, and he runs from the half-back line, looks up, goes towards the true centre half-forward position. Kittle's there, got ball to ground. He needs some teammates to come in and help him. Bannockburn to pick it up as the siren will sound, and at quarter time, the Commonwealth Hotel first quarter scoreboard will see Thomson go in at 1-2. Bannockburn are also just the 1 goal. And goal kickers, not many of them. We have Brent McLeod with 1. And for the Bannockburn side, Jack Henderson's got the sole 2 goal there. Take a short break. When we come back, we'll get Grubby to go through first quarter action here at Godfrey Street. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
Thomson lead Bannockburn 1-2 to 1 goal. A Grubby and Reece Holwell, the current Neville Whitley medalist, picked the bones out of that lot.
Well, I think you come to the footy, a lot of times you come here and you want goals kicked to have an enjoyable quarter, but in that quarter there's only the 1 goal, 2 goals kicked, but it was still a very enjoyable quarter. You notice the pressure put on both sides. I think they both know they're going to be up near the top of the tree, and I think they both know to get the ascendancy on either one of each other in this first game will go a long way. And I think they're both, you see a lot of fumbling, you see a lot of blokes not kicking the ball, and that's because of that pressure that's really been put on. I thought, I'll do this quick because I'll give Reece a chance. Yep. So I reckon some of the better players, I thought Tommy Bath was all right at Bannockburn. Jackie Broman, he had 7 touches, Jackie Broman. Matthew James, he had 8 touches. Daniel Ladgrove was okay. Measures was okay. And Hayden Spiller got a bit of the ball. Yep. Out at Thomson, I thought John O'Casey, as always, he got a bit of the ball. We spoke about him during the quarter. Fenabesi, he's looked a bit lighter, and I think he had a bit of the footy. Andrew Jarvis went well in the ruck, as did Cole in Bannockburn, of course. Brent McLeod, he's had 11 touches. He's had the most on the ground. Ethan Solly, after a fine performance last week, has had a bit of the footy. And I got down westward, but if Smithy would call which one, they probably had 12 possessions. I don't know if one's had 12 and the other none, or 6 and 6.
Jared's had the midfield. The other one's down the forward line.
I actually just said that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, look, I reckon the heat's on nice and early, and both sides look a little bit nervous. Every time they get the footy, they seem to look long. As we said before, with Matty James and that, we know he kicks nice and long, but there's probably a couple of times where he had a little bit more time that he probably could have lowered the eyes a bit. Bannockburn have done really well to drop that extra number, 1 or 2 blokes back into Thomson's forward line and create that outnumber down there. So it seemed like Tommy probably had more of the footy and more of control of the game and more forward entries, but Bannockburn defended really well and really hard. And on the flip side of that, when Bannockburn did go forward, it seemed that when they did try and move the footy pretty quick, they actually looked quite dangerous in their forward line. So as we said, I think the heat will die out of the game a little bit now. I think the side that's prepared to just be a little bit more patient with the footy and hit up that shorter option and control the footy a little bit more instead of just bombing it long the whole time.
It's certainly a very tight and tense tussle. And do you guys get the feeling that if one side gets a couple in a row, it could open things up quickly?
Oh, look, I don't think so. I think this ground, because of the size of it, I think you're always in the game, even if we've been 4 or 5 goals up here before, or 4 or 5 goals down as well, and you still feel like you're in the game. From the middle, you win 2 or 3 centre clearances. It's a one kick, and you're pretty much having a shot on goal. So that's why that midfield battle's really important. But I think that especially these 2 sides, they look nice and fit, and they look like both sides are nice and even. I think it's going to be a good game and go down the wire.
That talking about James's kicking, if your setup's there based to handle that, Dale, I suppose it'd be helpful. But Blake Miller has sort of either been out of position or not where he's supposed to be. But he hasn't really ever been in a dangerous spot, has he?
Well, I don't know whether it's a dangerous spot. The ball's been kicked to a dangerous spot, and Maguire's a fairly good backman, so they're both of those blokes are going to bring the ball to the ground. That's where you need a couple of smart blokes just around their feet that can just read that flight coming in. And as I said, it's always nice to run to the back of the contest and get one over the back, but most of these balls today have all come to the front of the contest, and they've got to start getting people to the feet around, especially around Blake Miller, because as I said, if he doesn't get the ball, he will make a contest. And as I said, Maguire, his aim is simply not to make sure that the big fella doesn't get the ball in his hands, so especially that close to goal.
Yeah, I think also it's the predictability. As soon as James gets the ball, as a good fullback does, he knows where it's going to go. It's going to go right to Blake Miller, and there's sometimes 1, sometimes 2 on him. I don't think it's so much just about the blokes around the bottom of the ball. I think James has got to change his game a little bit. Go short now and again. Have a bloke lead out, and he's a beautiful kick. If he can kick long, he can kick short and straight, surely. And instead of kicking it to the teeth of the goal, kick it to 40 out. Have a couple of players run around there and just change it up a little bit, because you know what he's going to do. It's very predictable to get it and kick it 60 metres to Blake Miller. Change it up. Change it up a little bit.
Probably it's hard for him to change because that's what he's done. I can't remember ever him kicking a small or a short ball too often. As I said, as we said before the game, his explosiveness. He gets 10, then kicks another 50 to 60. So he's getting that 60 or 70 metres all the time. But that's what I was saying. Between where he's kicking and where those blokes are, between him and Miller or whoever the forward is, they've got to take that option and get some numbers around that. It's all right to get back and defend, but they've got to get blokes that can want to work the other way and get underneath the feet of the tall forward.
But you don't want blokes getting the ball 8 or 9 times and nothing coming from him. He's had 8 possessions, not 1 goal from there. He's a good player. He's got to change. He's got to become unpredictable. That's what wins football matches, especially it's going to be damn tight here.
Shouldn't have talked, Grubby. Now I've mucked up my clock again.
I haven't started yet.
No, I haven't stopped it.
Oh, Grubby, quickly, big raps on Ruckman, Thomson, Jarvis. Have you seen his game so far?
Well, I think his game's been pretty good, but I also think Cole's been pretty good. I think that's the battle of the day so far. We all thought McLeod and Broman, but they're going to play wide of each other. The only thing is, I just think Jarvis is dropping back a kick behind the play and probably taking a few extra marks than Cole. Yep. But at the boundary throw-ins and giving it to the bloke, I think it's a 50-50 contest. And as we said earlier, if they can keep going for the whole 4 quarters, it'll be the battle of the day.
And interesting, we're talking about that now. Blakey Miller starting in the ruck for the second quarter and Cole starting full forward. So they might see something there and might think that, Cole was getting a little bit better of Jarvis or, so they're going to try Blake Miller in there and see how he goes.
I think it's the other way around. I think they want Cole up there because Blake hasn't kicked the goal. Maybe they're trying that.
Okay, something different.
So again, back with the umpire at the start of the game in the second quarter. Ball comes to ground, picked up by Solly, looking for some options. Didn't have a handball option, went forward quickly. Kittle couldn't take the mark. Again at ground level, ball picked up. Harding on the right boot, goes across the ground and will find Jervis, who will take the mark. Defensive side of centre wing will probably go short. Kick wasn't great and the measures picked it up. He's tackled and the numbers around there as he got the ball out. Umpire says no and it's going to be a ball up on the boundary line. Davis spent a fair bit of time on the boundary line here at the quarter time. He didn't even go into the huddle, so I'm not too sure what he's done.
He might have eaten too many of them hot dogs when he was working in the canteen, Smithy.
He might have. They were very nice too, by G. And the ball now comes quickly from the contest. Picked up Westwood. Goes to McLeod. Brent goes long. Goes looking for Jackson. He's got under the ball. Spiller's taking him out of that contest. Kicked off the ground. That was Westwood. That was Jared, or the other one. What's his name? Josh. Ball comes back towards centre wing. James leads in the race for the ball. And he makes it and will take the mark. Defensive side of centre wing. Options down the ground. He goes short towards by Jarvis. So Jarvis now to steady things down for Thomson. In the middle of the ground. He will look to go to the half-forward line. Club room side. McLeod. Brent comes up, takes the mark.
He has put a bit of weight on, hasn't he?
Goes short. Good kick. Mark taken. The handball's given off. And again ends up in the hands of Stevens from inside 50. Goes towards goal. And the ball will be knocked through for a minor score. So Thomson now to 1-3. Bannockburn on 1 straight. Second quarter action. Buckley's Entertainment Centre scoreboard. We have gone just under 1.5 minutes into this quarter.
Long kick out to the half-back flank looking for Stewart, and I thought he would have taken that mark. The umpire deemed that Jack had got a hand on it. He hand passes over the top to Jared Westwood. Back to Hill. Hill to McLeod. McLeod out into space. Running onto the ball is Solly. Scrubs the ball forward at best. The hand pass comes out into vacant space. Fenavesi's first there. The umpire blows the whistle and suggests that Fenavesi's attack on the ball was a little savage, and Connor Jervis will take the free kick for a head-high tackle.
I think that's about all it was.
Yeah. So Jervis in the back pocket for Bannockburn. Runs round his opponent, kicks long down the line looking for Cole. The ball goes over the back of the pack, and he can't pick it up quick enough, and it's gone over the boundary line for another boundary throw-in. That was Josh Cole that escorted that ball over the line. So it's still Miller and Jarvis contesting in the ruck as the ball's thrown in. Miller's jostling for position, probably rolls Jarvis out of the road. Joey Fammer comes through very strongly for Bannockburn. Breaks a tackle, kicks the ball long into the forward line, looking for Cole, but coming out in front is Maguire. Wins the ball, gets it over the boundary line, and a defensive boundary throw-in about 30 metres round from Bannockburn's goal, a forward pocket outer side.
He's a good fullback, Maguire, and he's one of the best in the business. And I tell you, this one with Blake Miller going in the ruck and Cole the full forward, they're going to have to do something about it quickly because I don't think Big Blakey can last the whole quarter on the ball.
So ball on the forward line. Ruckman go at it. Ball goes to the front of the pocket. Kick round the bar by Jackie Brayman. And I think he's put it straight through the middle. He has. So Jack Brayman gets his first goal of the afternoon and the second now for Bannockburn, who take the lead. They move to 2 straight 12. They lead Thomson on 1-3-9. And we have gone just on 3.5 minutes. Second quarter. Buckley's Entertainment second quarter scoreboard.
So,
it looks like Jackie Bromans might be starting forward as well here. So they've got that, Bannockburn have got that pleasure of, Joey Fama, Measures, and Matty James. They can rotate those four guys through the middle and then one forward as well. So they've got the luxury of that this year, which is something handy to have.
I love Joey Fama doing it, but I've got to say, at Winch, and I'll say it now, he's got to do more of it because he looks a beautiful football when he does it. He's just got to do a bit more of it.
He's a very strong player when he's tails up, and he was certainly proved it then. So throw up in the middle. Miller again gets up, but Jarvis comes over the back of the pack, wins it down, but Middleton picks up for Bannockburn. Like a pinball, he bounces off Thomson players, but finally he's caught, and McLeod thinks he's going to get advantage, but it's not going to be paid. It's got to come back to Solly to take the kick. He took a head-high tackle as he was bouncing around amongst those Bannockburn midfielders.
But it doesn't have to be his kick if they pay advantage, does it? Or the play had been stopped. That might have been it.
If the players stop, they need to bring it back.
Good umpiring.
Solly kicked long down the middle of the ground looking for Hill. Hill punches away from his defender. Harding picks up the crumb, runs through half-back, and it's a scrubby, horrible old kick.
BJ.
And the ball has been intercepted by Thomson. They kick long forward over the back of the pack. Jumping up is Josh Westwood. Westwood can't hold the ball. Spiller. Westwood.
He's been at my school of training.
You've been practising with Smitty during the week, have you?
We did a bit of training on the phone the other night. So Josh Westwood, pronounce your pronunciation.
Another big
properly,
announcement
Robert.
for you too.
Throw in Miller again, this time against Hill. Miller gets it down to the front of the pack. Coming through for Thomson, and a rather audacious-looking kick by Gardner straight up in the air. Miller can't take the chest mark as he pushed down back. Another big scrum of players, and we're going to have another ball up. Not far in from the boundary line, about 20 metres round from the behind post, Thomson's forward line.
Still haven't seen Davis back on the ground,
No.
so there's obviously an issue there. And Jackson looks like the only key target down there at the moment for the Tigers.
So the ball is cleared away now by Bannockburn. I think it was Measures, put it back in the middle of the ground. A spoil there from Jacket. Broman comes through. Nice clean pick up. Handballs out wide. Jervis is a runner. Got a favourable bounce. Has time to steady now. Goes short looking for Cole. Can't take the mark. Maguire is right with him. So Maguire now of Thomson goes back towards centre wing. Good looking kick towards Fenavesi. Fama come across but didn't take the mark. Kicked off the ground there. Casey does nicely. Goes to Fenavesi. Clean pick up. Handball to Solly. Solly inside 50. Come off the boot. It's heading towards goal and it will run through for a minus score. So Ethan Solly is behind. It's 1-4 now for the Thomson side. Bannockburn 2 straight goals. And second quarter action's gone 3.5. A long kick out goes quickly. Vickers takes the mark. Put under pressure now. Able to get the handball away. Got support back there. Again Measures round the boundary line. Goes towards centre wing. Or Broman pushing the back. He's been able to get away with that. Goes into the forward line and a good strong mark in defence out there, and it's Hardy. So Hardy now, a little short chip across the ground. Mark is taken. White, he plays on, looks at some options through the middle of the ground. Another short option, and you won't get a better one in the hand here of Hodgson. So Hodgson, a good user of the footy, goes sideways. Stevens goes towards centre wing now, looking for McLeod to come up to the ball. Spiller is with him. Spiller's able to get a hand on the ball and knocks it over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in on true centre wing.
Right in front of our commentary box on the members' side at the Thomson ground. They're doing a fierce battle with the Country Tigers. It's Jarvis and Coles back in the ruck this time. Jarvis wins 2 hit-outs, but there has been a free kick picked out, and it'll go to Middleton. Middleton gets across to Jervis with a quick hand pass. Jervis kicks down the line looking for and finding Jack Broman in the forward pocket.
Looking very
beautiful forward, lead. Yes, he's been basically playing as a centre-half forward by the look of it. Broman plays on quickly, kicks long, and that is a magnificent goal. He's second for the quarter, and this is a brilliant bit of move by Peter Riccardi to take him out of the middle, having confidence of those other midfielders, and he's playing as a small centre-half forward, Grubby.
Yes, that's exactly what he is. And then just trying to get some scores. We didn't get them at quarter time. But Corio 4-2-26, Bellpost Hill 8-5-53, Werribee 4-4-28, Anarchy 1-1-7, Belmont Lions 2-2-14, Geelong West Giants 4-5-29, and the big one out at Inverleigh 1-5-11, East Geelong 6-3-39.
Yeah. Get Jason, he'll give you that one. Ball back in the middle, goes up, and again tapped out there, goes backwards and ends up in the hands of McLeod. They came from Boundfield. Bound goes towards centre wing. Leading in the race for the ball out there is Stacey. He gets around his player coming at him, did nicely, a little bit of pace. Goes into the centre half forward position. Mark, will it be taken? No, it wasn't. Picked up by Jackson McLeod. Got the handball away, went to Westwood. And this is Jared on the left boot. He goes back towards the goal square. Stevenson can't take the mark. Kittle leads in the race for the ball. Tries to kick it round the boundary, but now it has been rushed through for a minor score to the Thomson side. They move to 1-5 and they trail Bannockburn on three straight goals. Second quarter action here. Buckles Entertainment second quarter scoreboard. The ball comes out, goes to the pocket. Mark is taken out there by Stewart.
Is he new?
Yes, he is. I think he's come from up Warwicknabeal, I think. I don't know why I think that, but anyway.
Pressure's on you, Dale. The scoreboard is now officially out of action. You're
That's
it.
all right,
You're the only man on the ground keeping score.
That's right. Baden Vickers now with the ball, goes back towards centre wing. Broman up over the top, up high, couldn't take the mark, and Sammy Jacket will
into the
see
fence, Sammy.
the ball go over the boundary line. And it will be thrown back into the field of play. True centre wing position.
The coach got up a little bit gingerly there.
Yeah, he did. Bannockburn just looking more dangerous when they go forward now. Thomson look like they're quite stagnant and no marking forward. And whenever Bannockburn go forward, Broman's he's really creating some problems down there.
So White clears the ball from the contest, picked up Stevenson, got the handball away to Middleton, needs some support, has it, goes back to Stevenson on the left boot, goes along the boundary, coming up, Broman couldn't take the mark, Jacker got the handball away, he also missed his target, picked up Fama coming the other way, he didn't take it cleanly, picked up by the ruckman there in Jarvis. Now a little bit of groundwork being had here. It's like a game of soccer. Ends up in the hands of Stevens. He's got the ball in his hands. He goes too long into the forward line, but he goes wide and out of bounds on the full.
That's what happens when you've had 3 years off footy. He's just been away in Canada, living the dream over there, and comes back and, can't hit that target, I suppose.
Hit the target, nearly put it in the timekeeper's box.
Like a rusty second set of nails, mate, isn't it? So, ball now.
What?
A rusty set of nails. Yeah. You haven't had them? No good when you're trying to bang wood, mate. So all goes towards Broman, centre wing. Jacker out the back, goes to Stevens once again. Got the handball away. Handball by Jarvis, goes backwards. And again, Thomson now, they go through to the forward line. Cole can't take the mark. Measures is there. Got the handball wide. Went to Tommy Parsons. He's tackled. Ball comes out. Good tackle, Fenavesi. He's run hard. Some good tackling today. Middleton's over the top of it. And the ball is not going to come from that contest. Umpire to come in and take possession of the ball.
I'm not quite sure he actually got a hand to that one. It could well have been, although no prior.
So again, Ruckman go at it once again, coming through.